Welcome back to the She Inspires podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Jade, board certified family medicine physician, wellness and weight loss specialist, owner of the membership medical practice Inspire Primary Care in Las Vegas. And today I'm really excited about our topic. We're going to be chatting about building your own table. Now, this was sparked because someone asked me recently, why did you build your own medical practice? Why did you build your own business? Like what sparked that? And this concept of building my own table really came to mind. And I wanted to share this with you all because if you're an entrepreneur, or if you've been thinking about entrepreneurship, or if you're in an employed position, these are some really good questions just to ask yourself to kind of assess where you are that may spark a new season for you. It may spark a new inspiration for you. And so I'm going to share a few things, 5 things in particular, that really were reasons that I built my own table that I think you guys will want to hear and be interested in. So let's go into number one. So, number one reason that I built my own table is my passion and my purpose. So, for those of you who are new here and may not know my story, I opened my private practice, a membership medical practice, Inspire Primary Care, straight from residency after my training. And it was 8 weeks after I had my second baby. So, at the time, I had a 2-year-old Ava, I had a newborn, an 8-week-old Aaliyah. And then 8 weeks later, we had the ribbon cutting and Inspire Primary Care was born, which is like my third baby, right? And so at that time, it was this crazy time of like, what are you doing? You just graduated residency and you just had a second baby and you're figuring out all these other new things and we're opening a business. And so the question that people ask me often, and the question this person was asking me was, why in that season would you think it was the time to open a business? And I said to myself, I had to build my own table at that time. And number one being passion and purpose is because I went into medicine to help people. I went into medicine to be the best doctor I could be. I went into medicine to provide high quality health care to people. And what I learned as a resident in the insurance based practice is that the priority is on the profit for the insurance companies. It is not on the quality of care for patients. And so many of the things, policies, procedures, discussions that were being had with physicians were about how to drive profit for insurance companies and for the corporations, not how to implement new things to increase the quality of care. I had an issue with that because if I'm doing things that the insurance company wants me to do, however, it's creating poorer or worse quality care for my patients, meaning rushing in and out of rooms, cutting people off so that you can see as many people as fast as you can so they can collect as many copays as possible because that's how you get profit and revenue in a primary care insurance based office. I had an issue with that. It was a moral issue. And I was like, my purpose is to provide quality. I can't do that here. I'm going to have to think of some different options. I'm going to have to. And so that was one reason where creating my own table was a necessity because I couldn't be authentic and I couldn't do my calling and my passion and my purpose if I were to stay in an insurance based system. And so, a question I have for you is in the position you're in now, whether that be employed, as an entrepreneur, whatever stage you're in, are you able to utilize your complete passion and purpose and serve in your purpose in the current space you're in? And if the answer to that is no, then maybe we need to create our own table or consider creating a new table that will allow us to operate in our passion and purpose. So that's one thing I'm very thankful for. Being a owner of Inspire Primary Care has allowed me to operate in my passion and purpose to its full extent. All right. So number two thing of why I opened and built my own table was quality and excellence. Now, you guys may be wondering, like, what does she mean by build her own table? So there's this saying where it's like, if they won't let you into the table or they won't let you sit at the table, build your own table. So that's a common little phrase that's been said many times. So that's really what I'm referring to. And that means that usually the decision makers and within corporations, it's already locked out. Like they're like, we don't want you to have an opinion. We don't want you to have any new ideas. We don't want, your thoughts on how things can be better and serve our clients better. We want you to just show up, do your job, shut up. Okay. And that is where the concept of, you know what, if I can't have a seat at the table and actually help make this a better place, then I'm going to create my own table and build my own table. And that's what I did with Inspire Primary Care. And that's definitely how I felt in medicine. So, in the insurance-based system. So number two thing of why I built my own table is quality and excellence. So I am a recovering perfectionist and I strive for excellence. That component will never go away. Although I know that I don't have to be perfect in everything, but my goal of excellence is always going to be there. And quality is always going to be there. If I put my name on it and I put my name behind it, I want it to be done with high quality and I want it to be done with excellence. And I was not able to do that in an insurance-based system. I already told you about rushing in and out, cutting people off. These are the things doctors in insurance-based offices are trained to do. And to get in and out of the room as fast as possible. And I was not able to provide healthcare that was built on the principles of excellence and quality, which is why I was like, okay, we're going to have to build our own table. So my question to you is, in the position you're in now, are you able to provide quality service? Are you able to provide excellence in what you do? And if the answer is no, then it may be a consideration of, is it time to build your own table? So number three thing on reasons and principles of why I built my own table, the number three thing is authenticity. Authenticity is a big thing and it has multiple layers. When I was in an insurance-based system as a resident, there were certain protocols that I had to do as an employee, even if I didn't think as a clinician it was the best thing to do for the patient. Let me give you an example. And so the authentic thing would be, oh, you have a hemoglobin A1C, which is a marker to assess for diabetes risk, and it has just fell into the pre-diabetes range. The ethical thing for me to do that I know could help my patient to prevent or reverse that prediabetes into a normal range would be, let's spend the time to create a personalized wellness plan. Let's talk about the nutrition. Let's talk about your sleep. Let's talk about your exercise. Let's do a 3-month trial of a personalized wellness plan and then repeat your lab results and see if we can reverse this without medication. Like that I know can be done, and that's what I do at Inspire Primary Care. However, the protocol in an insurance-based system was prescribe a medication, prescribe metformin. If they have this number, prescribe this medication. And that didn't feel authentic. That didn't feel like I was being the most authentic physician I could be, because I'm following check boxes instead of truly following what I know evidence shows. But the thing that takes more time is not what makes the clinic money. And that was the problem. That was the conflict. And so I wasn't able to be authentic in that way. But then there's another side of that, another layer to that. I wasn't able to be my most authentic self, right? So I'm not this stiff, maybe traditional image of what a physician is meant to be, right? I like to have a good time. I like to go on social media and share my story and share my journey. And in an employed position, there were certain things that a corporation needed you to do in a certain box that it needed you to stay in to make that corporation look good. And so a part of building my own table is, you know what? When I go into spaces, I may want to wear braids. I may want to wear my hair straight. I may want to wear my hair curly and in a big fro. Like, I want to be free to do what feels authentic to me in that moment. I don't want to have to think about, what will this corporation need me to do? What box do they need me to fit in to check their box, right? And so I was also able to be my most authentic self by building my own table. And so I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited about that. And I love that. And I'm able to do things like this, like the She Inspires podcast, and say, you know what, let me share stories of other women who are balancing business and wellness. And these are just things that I may not have been able to do had I not built my own table. And so a question I have for you is, are you able to be your most authentic self at the table you are at? Or if that answer to that is no, is it time to build your own table or considering that? All right. And then number four, all right, number four is community impact. So a reason I built my own table is the impact I could provide within a community. My goal and my why is really to help others. And so I wanted to pour into my community. I wanted to not have everything be about the dollar. And so that really sparked, the She Inspires wellness, the With the Doc wellness events that we do in the community. That really sparked us, my husband and I, starting our nonprofit organization, the We Inspire nonprofit branch of our medical practice, and having a nonprofit that has a program that helps with scholarships for high school students, that helps with a small group, a Bible study small group, helps with these organizations and events to promote healthy marriages, and to just really branch into these other layers of me that isn't necessarily a stethoscope and a blood pressure, but also really feeds into my patients and my community as a whole and what makes them feel well as a whole, right? And which all circles back to the primary care indirectly. So really being able to have more opportunity for community impact has been a big part of why I am so thankful to build my own table. And then number five has been legacy and longevity. And I want to ask you, are you able to do the community impact, first of all, that you want to do and that you're called to do in the position you're in? And if the answer to that is no, is it time to build our own table? So transitioning to the last point about legacy and longevity, of course, I have two little daughters who I absolutely love, Ava and Aaliyah. They are 4 and 2 at the time of this recording. And they're looking at their mama. And although they may not want to be a doctor, although they may not want to be an entrepreneur, no, I don't try to convince them to do one thing or another, or I won't as they get older, but I really want to encourage them to do what they're called to do. And I really want to encourage them to do what they are passionate about and the reasons that they were put here on earth. I want them to fulfill that. And so them seeing their mom walk in that, the legacy of that will encourage that. At least I hope, that is my hope, right? And then the longevity of it is that so many physicians are leaving medicine. They're investing in real estate, or they're just retiring early simply because the insurance-based system can be so draining and can really suck the joy out of medicine. And because it is about the dollar more than it is about patient care. And so the longevity of me truly being able to utilize my joy and my passion and my calling of medicine for the entirety of my career, to be able to do that longevity and not be burnt out, I needed to build my own table. I knew early on I was going to need to build my own table. So does the position you're in now promote legacy, and does the position you're in now promote longevity? And if the answer to either of those is no, do you need to consider building your own table? So these are 5 reasons that I built my own table. When people ask me, why did you open a private practice? I get asked that a lot. It really sparked this last time for me to really think about it. And I hope that sharing some of my story and bits and pieces of what that looked like for me, I hope it will be helpful for you. If it is, please leave a review of the podcast. Please let people know how you're enjoying this podcast. If you got anything out of it, leave a comment, let me know. Shoot me a DM and let me know if you have any topic requests or if this was helpful. Please join our family, our social media family, at Dr. Jade MD on Instagram. I would love for you to be a part of the fam. There we are talking about the behind the scenes of how I just share my journey on how I'm balancing business and wellness, motherhood and marriage. And it's a really fun journey to share. And I'm sharing the ups and downs in an authentic way. And part of the reason I'm able to do that is because I built my own table. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you on the next episode of the She Inspires podcast.